Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Stick around to find out how you could be the recipient of a giveaway for a mobile video cage by SmallRig, which is the subject of this review. I hope you enjoy, and without further ado, let's go. Hello again. Today I'd like to share with you a fantastic phone case that I found that's a lot more than just a phone case. And it is a SmallRig mobile video cage. The name of the company is SmallRig, for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I bought an iPhone 13 Pro Max in Alpine Green right when it was released, just I don't know, about a month or so ago. And really like the color of it, really like the finish, the satiny finish. And the contrast of the textures with the lenses and the mirrored logo. The sort of hematite edges on it are sort of lost to any case that you put it in, so I'm not really all that concerned about that. The first case I got, despite liking the color of this so much, inexplicably, was this the speck case, this black speck case. And what it lacked was, one, couldn't see the phone, and it's just big enough that things like clamp mounts like this Osmo don't fit it anymore. An iPhone 13 Pro Max is a big phone. The jaws of the Osmo, well, you can get it around there, but just barely. Any of these kind of clamp mounts just are pushed uncomfortably to the edge with a phone this size. You're really having to wedge it in there tight, and it, you know, any of these things, selfie stick, whatever. So what options do you have? Not many. What I found is I want something that I can mount either to some kind of GoPro mounts or somehow add a tripod, some kind of handle, whatever. So, being that I couldn't see the green color on this one, I was walking through Best Buy and found this speck, which, you know, clear speck, plain old, plain old. And I hadn't been paying attention that much because it doesn't have this MagSafe thing like the first speck case did. It was on super duper sale. I didn't really think about it. But I'm not so personally so hot on the feel of this one. It feels a little too plasticky for me. You can see the green, but it is sort of muted by this case. In certain lighting conditions, it actually comes out pretty well, but others it looks just kind of milky, and you're not sure if you're looking at a green phone or just a reflection of something green. Whatever. I mean, you can see it. The edges, those hematite-looking edges are lost. It looks like a sweat box in there or something. It looks all steamed up all the time. So, not so great. Not what I was looking for. And I still have that problem of it being too big to mount into things. And my other problem being, it just looks too generic to me. I want something that's got a little flair to it, nothing crazy over the top. I don't want it to look like some designer logo or something. So I did some searching around, and I started thinking of looking for either a wood case or a billet aluminum case, but I wasn't finding any that were going to really let me show off the phone. And that's until I came across this video online, and I'll show it to you here. It's this. This is at the SmallRig site. At first I thought this thing was plastic, but it turns out it's made of milled aluminum. Covers up those lenses real nicely. Lets you see the color of the phone. Has mounts galore. Look at all this stuff that you could mount it to. And doesn't get in the way of the LiDAR. There it is on a drone. Here it is on a really nice gimbal mount. And they have that slogan, Pro the Pro. And seems pretty appropriate. So I ended up ordering one of these, and here it is. Came like this from Amazon, and I mean like this. Box is a little dinged up. Someone had already cut this seal, and I'm pretty sure this might have been a return. Pretty sure it might have been. And this is how it showed up. This has been out of the box many times, but this is still how it looked when it showed up. The sort of membrane bag that it was in had already been cut open. But when I took it out, I really looked carefully for blemishes and scratches and all that. Found none. And here it is. It is a solid case. It has a great feel. I mean, you'd have to really be abusing it to hurt it. It's made out of a milled aluminum. You can see where all these cutouts are milled out, with a silicone sort of liner that is just sort of cushions the phone and forms buttons in that. So, looking pretty good. Now, to get this thing on the phone, you just push this button to open it up, grab your phone, and there are sort of tracks in the silicone liner there that goes all the way around the phone, and the phone just slides right in there. There's a little bit of resistance, but it's a nice smooth fit, and once it's in there, close the top, bingo. Now, what I did not expect, I thought this was just sort of when you look at the box or the video, or like this picture online, it looks like it's just kind of this neutral graphite gray kind of color, but it's it's not. It has a little bit of a, I don't know, just a little almost tint of, I dare say, green in it, or at least once the phone is, this green phone is in this case, it seems to take on a green color, and I think it's absolutely a gorgeous match. I get to see the color and the texture of the iPhone itself. The lenses are very well protected, unlike with these speck or similar cases where there's a lip that's just barely taller than the lenses themselves, which is great if the whole world was a flat surface that might get dropped on. But if you drop your phone on some asphalt or something bumpy, something with a pebble on it, it's really not going to protect the lenses at all. So this isn't going to, always do the trick, but it seems to me like it'll do a better job. If you can see, there's quite a bit of space there between the lenses and this surface. The bigger aperture lens, or the wider field of view lens here, the super wide lens, is completely unobstructed, whereas the other two lenses are housed in there a little bit better. The LiDAR and the light are not obstructed, and it looks great. The shape of these cutouts here and the spacing below allow for some custom mounts made by SmallRig that will allow you to put filters on the camera here for an even better photographic capabilities. There are a number of mounts on the side, 3 1/4 inch by 20 pitch screw holes that are the standard for things like these tripods, a lot of handles, a lot of microphone mounts. Here's a GoPro adapter. So with that on, this thing is rock solid. With that on, I can attach it to GoPro mounts or whatever, and there are a lot of options there. Like I said, 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. On the bottom also, there's the cutout for the lightning cable, and it's a generously sized cutout. So even if you have a thicker lightning cable that you use, it should be no problem fitting in here. There's some depth to it, a really nice amount of depth, where it might actually, for a fatter one, it might actually be a little supportive. But even with that depth, check this out. Look how thick the case gets around here to accommodate those openings, but it's also very strong. There are, at the bottom of each of these screw holes, there's a positive bottom to each of them, or a stop of some kind. It's these small openings here. They're a little wider here, but it's still a stop for a screw going in. So you won't screw something in there and bump into the phone or crush the phone or scratch it or whatever. So that's great. Again, I can't believe how good this thing looks. The green and the color of the case just complement each other so perfectly. The buttons here are in these cutouts, these milled cutouts that are just really good to look at. They're smooth. The coating with this sort of metallic, I don't know what it is. It could be some kind of tough anodization or something. It looks like really quality material. But the buttons with the silicone covers are cut out so that they're just shy of being flush with the rest of the case. So the cool thing about that is you set the camera down here, you set the camera down here, or excuse me, the phone down either way. You're not going to accidentally trip those buttons. There are two cold shoe mounts, one here to mount, cold shoe items. The silicone liner is present in each of those so that when you screw an accessory down in there, there's some place for it to go other than just biting into the frame itself. That will give it some really good solid fixture. It's a wider case, obviously, a bit wider than something like one of these skin tight speck cases. Still not as big as most Otter cases. This is a very obviously flyweight case. This thing weighs 3.3 ounces about, so it's noticeably heavier than this. It feels very light until you compare it to something like this that weighs almost nothing. In fact, when I added this kickstand to this clear case, this case now weighs more than this frame. So weight-wise, I don't think it's an issue. But my wife, who's got smaller hands, says that the size of this is getting to be uncomfortably big for her. I have big hands. I usually wear an XL or a double XL glove. This thing is fine in my hands, and I think it would be fine in the average hand. If you got smaller than average hands, it might be a little bit of an issue. This thing has had no problems getting in and out of like jeans pockets or coat pockets or whatever. It's not grabby on anything. It's nice and smooth, but any place you would hold it, there's naturally a bit of this silicone there that really, it's a really good grip. In fact, my finger falls into this cold shoe mount. Also gives me a pretty good grasp. But again, it seems like a very good quality piece of kit. Price-wise, amazingly, the speck case, with the MagSafe, costs the same as this awesome, unique aluminum, photography-capable, badass mount or phone or phone cage. I just couldn't be happier with this. The quality, the fit and finish. I get to look at the phone. The camera seemed well protected, and there are all these little things, all these little thoughts. There's a screw mount here for smaller accessories. There are the cold shoes. There are a generous number of these tripod mounts with the cutouts. A lot of the higher end photography things will fit right in that screw in with a positive lock for directionality. What else to say? It's well protected lenses with this little bit of silicone on the back. If you set the phone down, it might do this, but it's not sliding anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Like I said, if it was on a slope and you put it like this, it might slouch down the slope, but it's going to stay there. There was something else the giveaway. So if you are interested in receiving one of these, I'd love to send you one, but I can't send one to everybody. So what I'm going to do is, today is April 5th, May 5th, and if by the end of the month we get up to 1,000 subscribers on the channel, then I will pick someone to send this out to who has liked, subscribed, and put in the comments, I would like one of the SmallRigs. I would like a SmallRig case for my phone. In fact, just say that. Alex, I'd love a SmallRig case for my phone. Tell me what kind of phone you have. Some of them have a cage made by SmallRig for them. Not all of them, but they do make them for various sizes of the iPhone. They even make them for GoPros and everything else. You saw in the video, there's so many different accessories that you could mount to this thing. I mean, you can really, here's a picture of someone with handles and this mount. They're, the gimbals that we saw during the video. No shortage of them. So if you'd like to get one of these, like, subscribe, say you want one, and if we hit 1,000 subscribers, as soon as we do that, I will select one of you at random and send one of these to you to fit whichever phone it is that you have or want one of the cages for. If anybody's interested in it, let me know if you'd like this clear spec case. It's got a very minor amount of wear and tear on it, but hey, it's made up by the magnetic mount kickstand, and I don't think I'm going to be using it, so hey, if you want it, just say so. If we get up to, say, I don't know, 150 subscribers, then I'll send this out to one of you who asks for it. Again, just like, subscribe, and say you want it. All right, if there's any other question you have about this case, anything you'd like to know, let me know. I will be more than happy to answer questions. There is quite a bit of information on these online, but they're a really great company that's primarily concerned with photography equipment. So when you go to their website, this isn't one of the most apparent things. These are for sale on Amazon, right around 45 bucks. And I think that's just a steal of a deal compared to one of these plasticky cases. Hope that's been useful. Hope that's been helpful. And we'll see you again on the flip side. Thanks for watching.